Hello, this is Katie again. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be swatching out the Spectrum Noir Triblend markers because I need a chart in front of me. When I did the review, I had used a bunch of bunnies I had stamped out, but I was doing a comparison of the Triblend next to the same three colors of the original marker set, and I don't need those in front of me as a reference. I just want to have the Triblends. So I stamped out a bunch of the Starfish from the Lawn Fawn mini set So Jelly. And I tried to kind of put the colors in rainbow order the best I could. I have them in my containers in front of me, and I keep like the reds, pinks, and the reds and pinks together, and the fair skin blend, which I'll count as kind of a pink. And then the oranges, yellows, and browns. And then I have a section for greens, and then the blues and grays. And then I had room for the purples to be on their own. I think there are about 5 purple shades. So I sped this up 3 times. My phone would not focus here. I will explain what I'm doing with each Starfish because I didn't want to show you. It would take way too long of a video for all of these 48 markers in the whole set to show you each color's like letter and number name. So I'm just taking each marker by name, which I wrote below the Starfish, and I'm going from dark to mid to light. And if I went back in after the light, it was to use the dark again because I felt that the blend was a little too close. So some of these, if you just do dark, then mid, then light, it's a little, there's not enough of like a gradient. And so I would go back in with the dark. And then if I wanted to blend again, I was using the light. So I wouldn't use the mid a second time, if that makes sense. So there's a dark end, a mid in the middle, and then a light end to each marker. And I recap after each one. Like on this one, I went back in with the dark one because the pale pink blend is kind of too similar across the board, so I wanted to re-darken the dark part. There's one marker in here that I found in doing this, I think is flip-flopped. I'm not actually sure. And I think it's the Earth Brown Shades. It's after Earth Brown Blend down there in the brown area. And it's almost as if the dark end is the mid color, but it's labeled the dark end. And the mid, which is in there backwards, kind of, in comparison to all of the other markers, it's backwards. How the mid would pop out. You'll see me fiddle with it for a while. I'll tell you when we get there. And it's almost as if the mid is the darkest. So I didn't want to have to like mess with this sheet and stamp another Starfish. So let me know if that marker, when we get to it, I'll make sure, I'm pretty sure it's Earth Brown Shades, but I'll verify when we get there. Let me know if you have this set, if your marker of that color does the same thing. If that's the case, then I'll just know that I'll use the mid first and then the dark and then the light. Just because I think the mid is darker. It's kind of strange. Somebody else on Instagram, I was looking, I think under a hashtag, and they had posted a picture where one of their nibs, or the bullet nib, was just gone entirely. It wasn't in the marker at all. But she said they sent her a replacement. So that's good. The citrus blend that I just did is a little too close to each other in color, and so I went back over it with the darker one. So that's a solution if you feel that all the 3 colors kind of just look the same by the time you're done. Just go over the dark with your dark end of your marker again. This color, I think I recently just used as a hair color, and it looked really pretty. So that's a good one. The fair skin blend is good for fair skin, obviously. That's its name. There is the tan blend the next one I'm going to do, is also good for a skin tone. I used it in a few little witches that I colored. So this one is good as a skin tone as well if you need to use that. I believe I've only used, well, I've used Tan Blend, Fair Skin, and then I think Earth Brown Blend for 3 different skin tones so far out of this set. And you could also use this one too. Tan Shades wouldn't be a bad one. I had only colored 3 little witches though. And so I do have the whole set. I did buy the 2 boxes of 24. I have linked under my, I'll just copy and paste the links from my review video on these and paste them all here, because I believe the Crafter's Companion website sold out of the entire set. That was $150, which was a good deal, supposedly. And so I had listed other places that you can buy it, so you can actually manage to get this whole set just in pieces. You could buy the 2 boxes like I did, or you could buy each marker individually. And so I'll paste all that down below again here. And I'll be honest, there are some blends in here that I don't love, and I probably won't use that often. But I'll have them if I ever need to make something that color. There's a couple greens that I don't really like. The muted brown blend at the end of this row is kind of strange. I don't really like it that much. But I like enough of the colors to like the set as a whole. But if you do, on the Crafter's Companion site, they actually have, I think it's buy 2, get 1 free. And I think they're $5 each. So you could actually just buy if you wanted to use this as a reference. Oh, so here's the marker. Sorry, let's pause and talk about this. I'm trying to play with it and see if the mid is darker. And I end up just kind of blending out the whole thing. But the marker does appear to be put together odd or backwards in the middle. So I'm not sure. But I'll play with that one a little bit. So keep Earth Brown Shades in the back of your mind. And play with that one and see if yours is backwards. If you want to use this at the very end of this video, I sit on the whole page for a little bit so that you can take a screenshot if you want. And then if you just want to pick your favorite colors and just buy those ones, I would take advantage of the buy 2, get 1 free on the Crafter's Companion website. Then you don't have to get colors that you don't like. So the Alpine Green is my favorite green blend out of all the greens. I've been using that a lot. This one's okay. I don't really like it. I think the darkest shade on the citrus green is a little dull. The light green isn't bad. It's just not my favorite green. It's kind of like a minty green. That one's okay. The dull green, this would not focus. Dull green blend is exactly that. I mean, it's just dull. So I like bright greens. But this, I mean, this could be like a grass or some sort of scenery if you need 2 different types of greens in the same image or scene. And the yellow green isn't that good either. It's just, this one is even duller than the dull green, if that's possible. That one's kind of like an army green to me. That's what it looked like to me as I was coloring it out. And I just don't like that shade. The Jade Green is really pretty, but we get into these teal turquoise colors. And I'm just cleaning up because I colored outside the lines. So there are actually like a handful that I would call a good teal blend. At least 3, if not 4. This is one of them. I really like the Jade Green blend. The Green Turquoise blend is very good as well. So these are more of like, I think I would lean more towards teal on the green part of turquoise. because then the blue turquoise is obviously more of a blue turquoise. They did these very accurately. I still like them as kind of like a blue teal. So I still call, 3 or 4 of these, I'll just consider some sort of teal. And even the darker one, I started accidentally coloring with the light end. Even the darker one is really pretty. And what I like about these is that the darkest colors don't overpower your stamp or your ink. And the details don't disappear. I can still see the details on the starfish and all the dots and everything. So even on the darkest colors, even the gray that I haven't done yet here, everything is still visible through it. It doesn't wash out your image. Even this one, you'll be able to see it's a dark blue, but it's really pretty. It blends really well, and I can still see the details of the starfish. So this one is a really good vintage blue. I don't know where I would use this too often, but it's definitely an upgrade from the old vintage blue combo. Oh yeah, so then we have aqua blue, which is a great teal. I would consider it probably a teal blue versus teal green, or blue turquoise. That's kind of like a blue teal. And then for a light blue, you've got the ice blue blend, which I really like as well. So that one's a really good blend. And then you have brown grays. So compared to the original Spectrum's, Spectrum Noir coloring system, I think is what it's called. This one, this set does not have any green grays and it does not have any blue grays. So if you do have the original set and you're thinking of getting rid of it, I think the green grays and blue grays aren't that bad as a blend. So if you want to hold on to those two sections, just in case you're thinking of getting rid of them, these don't have blue grays or green grays, so you could keep those and make them work. I believe I looked at my older Spectrum chart, and they're not that far off. It's not as bad as some of the other combos, like the old purples and things like that, that just would never blend, even if you tried. This purple blend, which is just called Purple Blend, is my favorite out of all the purples. I have about two of the purples I don't love. This one is my favorite, and then there's lavender, which is a pretty good gradient. Sorry, it cut this into 2 parts, or 2 clips, because my video was too long on my phone. But that one is a pretty good gradient for lavender, so that'd be really good for coloring flowers and things like that. This dusty purple used to be called dull pink, and it was an awful combination, so they fixed it and called it dusty purple. So it has the same initials. It's not a bad purple, I just don't love it. This pink violet blend is okay, but this lighter color just kind of washes it out. I'm not really sure how that's supposed to work. And then the hydrangea blend is just a little too bluey purple for me, but it's another purple option. So before this ends, those are my thoughts, and I'm going to show you the whole sheet as soon as I'm done coloring this in. If you have any questions for me, feel free to let me know below. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.